All right, welcome back. Episode 4, House of the Dragon, Season 2, The Red Dragon and the Gold. Now, this episode is a 9.6 on IMDb. It is the highest rated House of the Dragons episode we've gotten so far. Last week's episode was actually one of the lowest rated we've gotten so far. Kind of interesting. But I do think this is the best episode we've gotten out of the entire show so far. I don't know how you feel about that, but
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm kind of fuzzy on season 1 episodes. Like the more I talk
a lot
about
of
it, the
time
more it
jumping.
comes back to me. Yeah. But no, I mean this by far was, you know, my favorite out of everything that we've seen so far.
Yeah.
And I know that the director of this specific episode was like, I don't know the names of them, but I'm sure you saw the posts on Twitter and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like some of the best episodes.
Yeah,
I believe
all
he
the
just
highest rated episodes of Game of Thrones was this.
Yeah, I
one,
believe
too.
too he directed the Blood and Cheese episode 1 of the season, which was
Really?
probably the second best episode so
Yeah,
far.
definitely.
But yeah, we'll obviously get to the whole, Rook's Edge or whatever that Rook's side, whatever that battle is at the end.
Rook's Rest.
Rook's Rest. Thank you. Such a small and insignificant castle that doesn't matter.
Right.
But yeah, a lot of stuff happens in this episode. I talked to some people at work today actually about it, and some people were like, it might be kind of a little bit boring throughout the whole episode besides the ending, but I couldn't disagree more. I thought a lot of it was entertaining. Queen Alicent drinking the morning after tea because she fears she might be pregnant. Sir Cole's baby is crazy, which I believe Rhaenyra had to take the same thing because of Cole last season, and her dad thought it was because of Daemon. So it's interesting parallel there between that. But yeah, what did you think of that scene?
Yeah, I mean that's crazy. The Grand Maester obviously gives her the potion or the tea, and who's it? Laris Strong comes in and sees her taking it, or he sees it on the table because she didn't throw it away.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think that's crazy. But I mean, it's just you see that everyone's talking about how they hate Christian Cole, and I mean he is a piece of shit. Like it's just crazy because what he's so against is what he was in season 1. You know, when Rhaenyra's younger, doing all that stuff, saying he wants to run away, do all this shit, and then now he's obviously the hand of the king,
Yeah.
so he can do anything he wants now.
He's only a
But he's
few
still
weeks
a
into the
knight, which is
job.
crazy. That I mean, like being the hand of the king, that he's still going to battle. But then again, I say that in Aegon himself on Dragonbag goes head first into battle. So
Yeah.
I think there's no like structure like we see later, in history in Game of Thrones.
Right. Yeah, I saw a thing where it's like Ramsay, Joffrey, and Christian Cole,
Christian
who's the
Cole are
worst. Yeah.
Top 3 hated people in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, but
history.
I think Joffrey and Ramsay still like clear as the worst, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean,
so
it's not
far.
like we haven't seen Christian Cole do anything.
He's just a hypocrite.
Yeah, he's just a
and a
hypocrite and
dumbass.
talk shit.
Right.
I mean, the only thing that we've really seen him do is obviously talk shit, but send Eric against Eric,
Right.
to go kill Rhaenyra. So, I mean, that's really the only thing that we've seen him do.
Right.
And obviously, him and Aemond are plotting behind Aegon.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then we see that unfold at the end of the episode.
Yeah, I think another cool scene too was the Corlys and his seaman, if you will. His bastard son that Rhaenyra's finds and speaks with, and I like too how like most wives
Is it
would be
Rhaenyra or
upset.
Rhaenys, you mean?
Rhaenys, sorry,
Yeah.
Rhaenys. She sees this bastard child of her husband, and most people would be upset, but like she's all about family and trying to, have more power with Viserions, and so it's pretty interesting just to see her perspective on it and saying like I think she said your mom must have been so beautiful or something like that. But yeah, I think they're hinting at him being like a possible Dragon Rider, because Team Black, sorry, Team Black has so many dragons that, and they don't have an army, but no one can really ride them. They don't have that many Dragon Riders over there.
I mean,
You know,
especially with Rainey's gone now. I mean, I don't
yeah,
know if his name's Alan, isn't it?
yes,
And I mean, I don't know. I don't know too much of the story. We've only seen him like 2, 3 times so far this season. And how many episodes do we have left? Half a season?
4 more.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
And people are saying
I
this
don't know
could be
because he's a
4 or 5
bastard.
seasons
Like,
long.
I mean, that's the thing is, like I said, there's no structure in this part of history. I feel like, to where he could be a Dragon Rider for all.
Yeah, but he's half Valerian.
Yeah, that is true.
You know what I mean?
And I mean,
So-
you got to think realistically, Rhaenyra's kids are bastards as well.
Right. Yeah, they're also half Targaryens, so it's like, yeah. So, that was really interesting. The whole Damon in Luigi's Mansion plot,
Harrenhal,
where
that shit's
Harrenhal, yeah, he probably shouldn't sleep on that bed.
I don't think he slept once.
Yeah,
It's crazy. What like a subplot for this, like this season, I guess you could call it. Like so much shit is going down. Like he wasn't at that battle. If like everything would have been a lot different, I think.
yeah.
In the fact that he's playing fucking Haunted Mansion. Like I don't know. I just think it's funny. But I mean, it's already been 2 episodes now, and we haven't gotten like any. It's kind of just ongoing. Like we haven't gotten any explanation besides people saying like, "Oh, they're haunted," and even Aemon knows like, "Oh, he's preoccupied over at Harrenhal."
Yeah.
So I mean,
Well, too,
maybe
it's
it's
like,
gonna sway in Team Black's. Or
Well,
Team
remember too,
Green's.
last episode we were trying to figure out if they're visions or like nightmares or dreams, and like it looked like it was kind of a mix of both to a certain degree. It was like the episode opened with young Rhaenyra, and she's speaking High Valerian to him, but he can't like hear her, which I think is pretty cool because later on you see like Aegon and Aemon talking High Valerian, and Aegon really doesn't understand or can't really speak it that well. But yeah, so I thought that seems really cool. Dude, like cutting her head off and she's still talking was so creepy. I don't know. That whole
Just bring
plot.
like horror into it. And, I mean, it's
Right.
sick. Like it's just something we haven't seen before.
It is very horror movie. And then he like follows someone with this long blonde
Looks like
hair.
Aemon.
Yeah. And yeah, so he turns around, you think it's Aemon, but it's like Matt Smith's face on Aemon's body.
Yeah, it's
I don't
Aemon
know.
with an eye patch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That was sweet.
Yeah,
I like
so
that, but I
plot.
mean, we have to get some kind of explanation like next episode.
Yeah, and that witch girl, I think she's going to play a bigger part too. I assume she will.
Yeah, so from what I've read, or I think it was watching the, how it's made at the end of this last episode, and they were mentioning that like, I think her name's Alice, Alys, and I guess she plays a big role in the book. So
Okay.
I think we're definitely gonna be seeing more of her. But I mean, like she says, she's like, I'm not a person. I'm a bird. I'm an owl.
Right.
Something like that. So we obviously know that she's a witch.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this episode's kind of a lot of setup to, the big battle at the end, especially with like Aegon, Aemon kind of butting heads at these small council meetings. He's bored, and he also feels embarrassed, and feels like he isn't taking that. No one's taking him. Everyone's taking him for granted. That no one's respecting his wishes or his thoughts or asking for his approval on anything. Like he's just kind of sitting there, and they're going behind his back. So I completely like this episode. I almost kind of felt a little bad for the guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that how you felt?
Yeah. I mean, I feel bad for him. I mean, because we obviously see like 2 episodes ago when he's on the throne and all the common folk are coming up, and he's like, they're like, we need more food for our livestock and stuff like that, and he's obviously got like he means well. He's like, yeah, sure, and then Otto kind of sways his judgment. It's character, it's like development, and we're seeing him go from like nice guy to power hungry. He wants revenge, wants Blood and Cheese kill his son, and then we're kind of seeing the spiral effect onto the end of this episode. But I mean, yeah, you feel bad for him. I mean, you obviously know that they're plotting behind him. But even when Lair Strong, like mentions to him because he's the Lord of Whispers or something like that, King of Whispers, and he's like saying what the people are talking behind his back. It's true, obviously. Especially once we get into the battle and we see like what Aemon does to him.
Yeah. So like he's drinking a lot. He looks drunk.
He drinks before he gets on the dragon.
Right. Yeah. So he goes and gets on Sunfire, which is his dragon, and Sunfire is also like the symbol for the gold and green side of that Targaryen team. It's on all the banners and everything, flags, and so Sunfire looks super excited, like to go on a ride with him. I don't think Sunfire knew where they're going because obviously that dragon's never been in battle before. No. I think only Rhaegar had been, or Vhagar had been. But yeah, so yeah, he mounts Sunfire. Rhaenys gets on Meleys, which is I think one of the faster dragons like alive right now. I believe.
And also, Meleys is like she's been riding that dragon for like 40 plus years.
Yeah, she's up there as one of the older
she's
ones.
Team Black's, best dragon rider, I guess you could call him.
Yeah, that dragon and probably Damien's dragon. Damien's dragon.
So I think Damien's dragon is still young.
Yeah,
but I think Meleys was the only one that's been in like
Caraxes. I think's Damien's dragon's name. Yeah, Caraxes has like the long neck. Caraxes. Yeah, I'm trying to learn all the dragons' names.
Yeah.
Because there are so many. But yeah, I believe so. Team Green after this episode should really only have like 3 dragons left, whereas Team Black has like 9 or 10. But like again, they don't have dragon riders. And Team Green also has a bigger army, but also they're running out of money. So it's interesting to see where this is going. But yeah, so they're at Rook's Rest. They're attacking the small castle because right across the bay is Dragonstone.
Wait, real quick, I'm gonna cut you off. Nothing's better, like you said at the beginning of the episode, slower compared like it's a build up into the the end of the episode, and nothing's better than when you're seeing both sides prepare for war. Rhaenys goes up to Meleys and then she's like speaks Valyrian to her, and she's like, we're going back to war. And like that, like it was just fucking hype. Like I was literally laying down watching the episode, and I text the group chat and I sit right up, dude. I'm fucking locked in. And it's just you see both sides, like what's going on, and you see Christian Cole and Alicent's half brother or whoever that the young guy is.
Yeah.
And you like see that they already were in battle, like they have blood all over their face, stuff like that. Which I'm kind of
they've been picking up more people.
Yeah, we haven't seen any like hand to hand combat yet.
No,
but I mean,
the budget went for this.
Yeah, the dragons fucking
right.
It's enough.
But I thought that like the beheading was cool, and the fact that like cool. They didn't cut away right when he beheaded him. Like he fully like beheaded him, walked away. He gets this note. We don't know where the note's from. Figured out that it's Aemon. But yeah, I think that was really cool. And then too, like even them cutting down the trees before they head over to Rook's Rest is really cool because it's like, why are they cutting down these trees? But it's for Vhagar to hide and be in that spot. So yeah, it's just a lot of stuff like that you notice watching it again. That sort of thing, which is really cool about this episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I'd like to.
Good part. Go ahead.
Yeah, dude, we weren't even in on the like. I mean, Rook's Rest. The attack on Rook's Rest is a trap.
Yep.
I think they were hoping Rhaenyra would show up. Obviously, it doesn't happen. But yeah, so this is a trap, and Aegon ends up kind of ruining it a little bit. It still happens, but he kind of fucks things up because they weren't expecting him to show up. Obviously, he's not battle ready. And I think it's cool, too, because you see these dragon riders talking High Valyrian to their dragons. Like Aemon does it, and Rhaenys does it. But, like, Aegon doesn't. He's like, fly faster or attack, Sunfire. Or the only thing he knows how to say is Jacaerys. Yeah. So I thought that was really cool because, like, that helps build the bond between the rider and the dragon. And so him not being able to really speak it that well and then not being able to battle that well made sense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like you said, obviously Criston Cole and Aemon had their own, plan that they were going. And then remember, because Aegon was supposed to ride a couple episodes ago, and he goes, I'll save my ride for another day.
Right.
Because he also thought that what's his name was gonna, uh, backstab him then.
Yeah.
If he were to leave. But I mean, then we see it unfold on this episode, and right when we see Vhagar, camouflage under the leaves and stuff like that was fucking sick.
Yeah, he tells him to rest.
Yeah, and he
Dude,
tells
that
him
was
to
so
rest,
cool.
not yet, and then he calls his brother an idiot, because you see Aegon flying in, and then that's when we get Meleys. Meleys starts fucking up. What's Aegon's dragon?
Sunfire.
Sunfire.
Which is a beautiful dragon, by the way. The scales,
yeah.
Everything looks really cool. Clearly, that dragon's not made to battle.
No.
But yeah, really cool looking dragon. And yeah, it just starts getting fucked up. Like, it gets clawed in the stomach. And I thought this was really cool, too. Like, the dragon starts falling to the ground, and the acid's coming out of its stomach, and everyone's getting burnt. Like, it's like hot oil.
Yeah, it was so sick.
So cool. Yeah, so cool.
And that's what I thought. I thought Sunfire was dead. Like, after that, I'm like, oh, no way. But then, obviously, because it, clips its wing, and it gets clawed. It, opens his entire stomach up, enough to burn, napalm the battlers on the ground. And the craziest part is that I love how they kept, the cinematography, the camera angle, how they were showing that regardless if, you think Team Green's dragons are on your side and, the regular, knights and stuff on the army down below, they don't give a fuck.
No.
Yeah, when Vhagar's jumping down on the ground, stepping on both green and black forces, they're fighting for them up top, but them up top don't care about the bottom.
Right.
And I love that because then you could be fighting a guy on the opposite side, and then you see a dragon, they're both running the other way, they don't care.
Dude, in scenes like Vhagar kind of getting up a little bit before we know that's a trap, or Vhagar's wings over the trees. It was like Jurassic Park and Jaws. It was cool scenes like that, the way it was shot.
Vhagar's I think Vhagar's the oldest dragon alive at the moment.
Yes, she is the oldest dragon.
Make note of, and Aemon obviously, season 1 loses an eye, but he gains a dragon.
Right.
And I mean, obviously Vhagar is the most powerful that's out there, but the other one that we saw in season 1 when Daemon goes and collects the eggs, I don't know where, but it's Vermithor. And, I think after this, situation that happened, I think that they have to go and, they have to get Vermithor. Because I think it's still in the wild somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, those wild ones are... There's the cannibal one, there's Grey Ghost, I think there's one. There's ones. Yeah. So,
because from a sizing chart, Balerion, which was the biggest dragon, that Aegon, did his conquest on. Yeah. That's the one that they have in the keep. The skull in Dragonstone.
Yeah, where Rhaenyra's dad tells her about the Song of Ice and Fire, which we get, in this episode too. Yeah, which I thought that was pretty cool. But you can understand how this gets broken up to where it's no one really knows about the Song of Ice and Fire because it's hidden in that blade, and then basically you just pass it along from king to predecessor. And
so I mean that's the thing with House of Dragon bringing up the Song of Ice and Fire. That's Star Wars is Order 66.
Yeah,
they just keep
Dude, it just reminds me of how bad Game of Thrones ends.
Yeah,
pisses me off. But yeah. Well, it's cool, too, because, it kind of gives you a reason, okay, so you would look at both teams and be like, wow, they're assholes. All they want is power, and that's it. And, yeah, for Team Green, that's the case. But Team Black, Rhaenyra believes that she has to be in power so she can reunite the realm for the Song of Ice and Fire, because she doesn't know when it's going to happen. So I like that aspect, and that's why I think a lot of people are on Team Black. I think they want you to be.
100%.
But yeah, so I think that's a cool aspect of it.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Rhaenyra and Team Black have a reason where, these kids on Team Green, they don't know. They were just born into it.
Yeah. And Queen Alicent reading these books to try to find out about the Song of Ice and Fire, which you won't find because it's in the blade. I don't know. I thought that was really cool, too. But yeah, you see...
Also, now, Aemon has the blade.
Right. And I thought he picked it up and there's fire around it. I thought he was going to be able to see it, but maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. So yeah, so you have both these dragons kind of battling each other, and then Vhagar shows up. And so this is going to be debated, and I wonder where they're going to take this in the next episode. But Aemon basically says Jacaerys and flames them both. I thought that scene was amazing. And so do you think with him waiting to go out there and letting his brother go in first and the Jacaerys, do you think he's trying to take his brother out?
100%.
Okay.
But that's the thing is they set it up perfectly because Aemon's ready to go on Vhagar, but then he sees Aegon coming through, through the sky. And then he says, what an idiot. And then that's when he lets him fight, lets it see what happens. Because I'm sure that he thinks that Meleys is going to, fuck up Sunfire or whatever the hell that dragon's name is. And we obviously see that. And then once he sees that, like, oh, all right, Aegon's losing, whatever, he goes into, sneak attack because that's the only thing that he does with Vhagar, which is the biggest dragon alive.
Yeah,
and somehow it's undetectable, as loud as it is, as big as it is. No one can ever see where she's at. Yeah. But no, it definitely was intentional because, especially with the last episode or the last situation that they had, when Aegon's just always teasing Aemon, and he always has been.
Yeah.
And
then too, last episode, Aegon's laughing at him in the brothel, embarrassing him and
it's
stuff.
The fact that Aegon's, losing this battle, and then he sees Aemon, and he's like, "Thank you, brother." He says, "Thank God, thank the gods." And then he sees him coming in, and then that's when he's like, "Oh shit."
And then they fall out of the sky because Sunfire's wings all fucked up. And still a little bit on fire. And so, and then they plummet into the woods. And you're like, damn, did they just kill them both? What the fuck? Yeah. And so Meleys and Vhagar have it out. And Meleys tries the, claws, the talons to, the stomach again. And you could tell, Vhagar's got a lot more scales and, is bigger. So, it didn't affect Vhagar that bad. Mm-hmm. But it, still did a little bit of damage. And you're hoping she's going to fly away and, retreat. Right, but then she ends up turning back. Right. Well, because at this point, Meleys is fucked up a little bit too. You know what I mean?
Meleys gets her wing chomped, and she's wounded.
Right.
And then also, you see that when she did attack Vhagar, it did some damage, but not enough.
Not enough. But Vhagar ended up falling to the ground too.
Yeah, and I love the fact that Rhaenys, you see her buckle in, she straps in. Yeah. And, obviously she knows that, as a dragon rider, they don't have parachutes or anything. So, your dragon loses, you're dead. And I love the fact that she straps in going in for round 2. And then she does that, spiral, the barrel roll and goes underneath again to attack from beneath.
Well, earlier this season, we saw Daemon and Rhaenys talking about, hey, let's go to King's Landing and kill Vhagar. I think if Daemon was there with his dragon, because they have the 2 strongest dragons on Team Black, I think they probably could have taken out Vhagar. There's a chance.
Possibly, but
because those 3 are the only ones that have seen action, and so I think they would have had better odds. But obviously, Meleys is outnumbered by 2 different dragons. One being Vhagar, who's fucking huge. You know what I mean? So I think that maybe they would have had a better chance.
Even the size comparison between Meleys and Vhagar is just ridiculous. So that's the thing is I don't know the story. I don't want to spoil it for myself, but I think that it's going to take as many dragons as possible, to go and defeat Vhagar. People know.
It'd probably take 4 or 5, I assume.
Yeah, and you need, you need Vermithor. So I think it's either multiple small dragons, and then maybe Vermithor comes in like Jurassic World, where the fucking what's that animal called?
T-Rex?
Oh, the Megalodon. No, the Megalodon comes in and chomps out of nowhere and kills Vhagar. Like that'd be sick. I think.
But you gotta think. You gotta think too. By the end of the show, all the dragons are dead. Yeah. Right. So.
Oh, yeah, something's got to happen. Is Drogon and the other ones that are eggs that we just saw in the last episode.
Yeah, they're Dany's dragons. Yeah, that hatch. Yeah, right. So, but yeah, so Vhagar ends up getting the jump on Meleys when they're trying to. I think at that point maybe they're heading home because they're going over the castle to head back to Dragonstone. And yeah, Vhagar does a sneak attack, comes up, chomps the neck,
God.
and dude, like Meleys looking back at her and their eyes, like, and then it was so sad. And watching her fall was incredible.
And I really thought that she was gonna fall in the water. I'm like, maybe she survives, and then you just see it crash down on.
And it breaks the wall, so then everyone could walk right in.
And it explodes, and then you just know that she's crushed, which is insane to me. That after this, somehow Aegon survives. So we go and we see Christian Cole go down, and he's on the ground, and Vhagar jumps on the ground, loses its footing, and then flies back up into the sky. And knocks Christian Cole out. He wakes up, goes straight for Aegon,
and dude, I thought the episode was gonna end.
I thought it was gonna end too.
I was gonna be pissed.
It kept fading, like it did, like a long fades compared to like
it's like 5 seconds of black. Yeah, and I grabbed my remote. I'm like, no shot. Yeah. That's fucking it.
Yeah, so thank God. And then we go. Christian Cole's like in shock. He's in awe after I don't know, whatever, getting the wind knocked out of him. And, he goes straight to Aegon, and, you see Aemon's already there, and it looks like Aemon's going to go, like, finish him off, which he most likely would have. But
so the sword's out.
Kristen Cole saved Aegon's life.
Yeah, no, but let me ask you this. So he kind of had it, like, almost angled to where it looked like he was putting it in the holster. I think he took the sword out, was going to finish Aegon, but then saw the dagger, he was going to put the sword away and kill him with the dagger. That's what I think. But, like, I think it's going to be debated, like, was he trying to finish him off, or was he just putting his sword away? But also, why would you even have your sword out? The battle's pretty much done. Yeah. You're in the woods.
I don't know if he had to go and, like, defend himself to get up there. We didn't see that. But me personally, I think that if Kristen Cole didn't come up behind him, he 100% was going to finish him off.
Okay.
Because that's how I felt too. From what I've seen, or like what I'm taking in, like obviously Aegon survives, right? And but he's just burnt to a crisp, like he's crippled, right? So I mean, we're gonna see that. That's gonna be sick.
And Sunfire's still alive.
Yeah, but I don't know if they're
not gonna fly again. Probably its wing is completely fucked.
Yeah, but I don't know if they. I don't know if they put it out.
Yeah, because how do you carry that back? I don't know. Right? Yeah, I don't know.
So that's crazy,
and that's one less dragon for their side.
Yeah, and obviously you see that. I don't know who's the rightful heir.
Well, technically, it'd be Aemon.
Well, is it Aemon? But he's still alive, so that's why he 100% would have killed and finished Aegon off.
Right. I think
now
Aemon
that Aegon's alive, it's just going to be like what we heard of. Is it the King of Harrenhal? When Daemon's there, they're like, "Oh yeah, but he's he's so ill he can't even speak, like he's mute."
Right. Yeah.
So I mean, that's what we're kind of hearing.
Yeah.
But I think that was great. I love that. And I mean, it's just crazy to think that Aegon's still going to rule, but obviously Aemon's, the face of Team Green now.
Yeah.
And I wonder how, what's her name's going to take it.
Queen Alicent.
I want to see how, Alicent takes it and how Rhaenyra takes it. She lost.
Well, and Alicent knows, too, that Aemon's kind of a monster. Like, she can't control him like maybe she would be able to with Aegon. So, yeah, it's super interesting to see where this goes now.
Yeah.
Then, Kristen Cole's only been on the job for a couple of weeks. He gets the king almost killed.
Yeah, dude, everyone's getting fucked. Yeah. But did you watch the trailer for the next episode?
I did, yeah.
So you saw that obviously they're parading Meleys's
saying Aegon did it.
Saying Aegon's the one that, so that's another reason for Aemon to
Which could have been, it could have been Aemon's idea too, just to make Aegon look stronger so they keep their support that they have.
I doubt
and then now he's going to take over the reins.
But I don't think Aemon would ever allow
Could be Kristen Cole's idea.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's someone who was at the battle. Yeah. I think it's someone like, yeah. But yeah, what I'll say is I'm interested to see what happens next. They bring Meleys's head. Now, I don't know if you know this, Aiden, but in the book, during Rook's Rest, it's written that Aegon and Aemon teamed up and showed up together.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in the show, they did it different, where Aegon just was drunk and showed up and ruined the plan. I think it's interesting that the show's going this way, building this like tension between those two, because it makes sense that in this next episode they're saying Aegon's the one that took out Meleys because that's what it says in the book. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
How we're going about like the show's what really happened and then the book's what people believe happened. I think that's really cool.
It is, and they're doing a great job at that because,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, like you said in previous episodes or previous reviews, you know, the text, like if I were to go grab the book off my shelf and read it, it's, you know, just like stories of common folk like you and I, you know, of the rumors and stuff that they hear. And then, you know, it's great that they're going complete opposite. And that also allows like George R. R. Martin, like it gives them an out to, you know, make it more entertaining and stuff like that, which they're doing.
Yeah. Right.
And, you know, and now we're getting like, you know, we're getting visual of the real story. And I mean, even and it works out perfect too. My fucking cat. Works out perfect too because, you know, like in the trailer for the next episode, like, oh, all hail Aegon, he defeated Meleys, you know, stuff like that. So that would be in the book. And like you're saying, they teamed up and stuff like that. It's perfect.
Right. I saw, before we end this, I saw on Twitter, some guy goes, fuck this, and he showed 2 Google searches. One was, when does Christian Cole die? When does Vhagar die? Yeah. I thought that shit was funny.
Yeah, dude, that was me when I watched Invincible, man. I couldn't take it anymore.
Yeah. But I don't want to know shit about what's going to happen next in this show.
No, I don't. I mean, I really do, but maybe I'll read the book, you know.
Dude, they're saying it could be like 4 or 5 seasons, though. So it's like, crazy. This could take a while. And we got...
The story's a lot shorter than Game of Thrones.
Yes, it is, yes. I think it's only going to be 4, maybe 5, they're saying. And then we're getting the Night of the Seven Kingdoms, which takes place in between House of Dragons and Game of Thrones. I think it's about 90 years before Game of Thrones starts. So it's really cool. I'm really excited for that show, too. They just casted the 2 main leads.
Really?
And we're getting that next fall, so next year in the fall.
I just want a Jon Snow story, man. Shows what happens after he gets sent to the wall.
They ruined it, dude. They ruined the end of that show. Don't even get me started about it. But yeah, no, that was our discussion on episode 4. Easily the best. I think we could agree on that. I'm excited to see what they do next week. I was looking forward to it all week.
Fuck yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah.
And that's why I think, like, I mean, we have 4 episodes left. That was the halfway mark. And I mean, House of Dragon is good for, you know, having something each episode. And like you said, episode 3 was kind of slow, but it was great because it was a setup for this one. And we all know it was because, you know, Alicent and Rhaenyra talking. Like, we needed that. We needed that conversation, and we got it.
We did. And that conversation was awesome.
Fuck yeah.
But yeah. All right. So thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, appreciate it. Peace out.